I've always been a firm believer that one of the ways that South Africa can achieve self-sustainability is if we as citizens of this country empower one another. And that's exactly what Ben Getz and his team from Urban Harvest have come to do here at Lwandle Primary School. They've initiated a project that's going to help this community grow, one seed at a time. Let's take a look.
The aim is to build a sustainable environment for the local community in Khayelitsha. A long-term functional vegetable garden for the children will ensure that they can go to school without the stress of being unfed.
Ben, the work you've done here looks absolutely amazing. It's mind-blowing. Tell me about the project you've undertaken here.
This is a 400 square meter edible garden which we're putting in for Lwandle Primary in Khayelitsha. The idea of the garden is that the food from the garden will be feeding over 300 kids every school day, Monday to Friday, indefinitely.
So how'd you go about marrying the two aspects of aesthetic beauty and function and form?
We've chosen a mandala design.
Yeah.
So as you can see, it's sort of concentric circles. One of the reasons why that works really well is because you can move around the garden freely in any direction. You can get from the compost compartment to the pit beds, to the vegetables, out the back gate. Wherever we need to move, we can move easily. So from that side, you've got the function. On the other side of things, there's the aesthetic. It's just really fun and beautiful and exciting.
So I'm assuming that it took quite a process to get to where you are right now. What have you done and what work still needs to be done in order for the garden to start working?
Well, I'd say this is kind of a shell of the finished product. We're about halfway through. What we've really got at this stage is the structure. We've got the design, we've got the edging, will help us to create raised beds. We've still got to put in irrigation, automated irrigation, and that's going to serve the trees, the perennial plants, the vegetables.
A productive garden needs careful planning. With hard work and community involvement, a nutritious vegetable garden will soon begin to thrive. And kids, parents and teachers will have a hands-on connection to the food cycle.
Yeah, I think we pretty much had the same thought. After a long day working in the garden, you want to take a bath, right? No, but honestly, what is this component of the garden and what's its function?
This is the nursery. So we'll have shade cloth very shortly over here. And this is the structure which we can put our seedling trays on. We've dealt with these on the show before. We'll be able to put up to 8 trays here and grow. Each one of these can grow 200 seedlings. That's 1,600 seedlings that we can grow just in this area here. And then of course there's the bath. It will be an earthworm farm. The earthworm tea which comes out of the bath will go straight onto the seedlings first, and then if there's anything left, we'll then add that to the garden.
The trend of having an edible garden is so widespread that even big companies grow their own. It's a must for your home or even balcony.
Okay, so here we are, one of those holes I was talking about, and it's filled with straw. What's its function in the whole garden?
This is a pit bed. It's an in situ compost system for the garden, basically making a culture of microorganisms for the garden. It's almost as a sponge, so on the one hand it's going to make sure there's always water in the garden. Any kind of moisture it will hold. The microorganisms which will be very happy living in this dark, moist environment will be turning the organic matter into compost, and then as they do, they'll be moving below the surface, moving that compost around the garden.
A few weeks later, the garden is beginning to flourish. It's exciting to see Urban Harvest's vision come to life. The garden is well on its way to feeding growing youngsters. By the time the Western Cape School's gates open next week on the 16th, the first harvest will fill hungry bellies.